here. I know I've been gone for a minute. Like, Aubrey, where the hula hoop videos at? Where you at? You out here minding your business? Yes, I am, ma'am. Yes, I am. Looking good, detoxing, hula hooping. But enough of that. What I am here for is to let you all know that I did a thing. I finally made a collapsible hula hoop that can be shipped worldwide. I had a real conversation, woman to woman. Aubrey, what are you doing? Are you wasting time? Why have you not tried to make this collapsible hoop? I got intimidated. I seen that it took some tools and some drilling, a whole bunch of other different things that I was not familiar with to make this hoop. I just kept putting it off, and I was like, I'm not doing that no more. I need to spread my wings and fly. So let's unravel it. I don't know how this is gonna look. I am hoping for the best. I got the connector right here. Press the connector in, voila. This is the bigger test. Now I have to get it back to being a circle. It's gonna be like a whole process, stretching your hoop back out. I will provide an informational on how to unravel your hoop. This is a regularly sized hoop. Let's see how it goes. So I'm pressing the connector button and we got our hula hoop, y'all. It's a whole real live hula hoop. Hula hoop's just the same. I have two hoops already made. I have this red one. It's vibey, it's beautiful. And I have a kente one, which is a signature of the Sacred Circle. These two are collapsible. It works just the same. You push the button in, they're back up in there, and boom. Got another sturdy hula hoop that you can hula hoop with. Just the same. I'm about to start shipping. Baby, I got it together. I like to say I'm standing on business. The Sacred Circle, y'all can hit me up. I have two collapsible hoops for sale. Because I'm telling y'all, when I go viral, prices is going up, up, up. Might not be able to catch me. Ain't nobody got nothing like these. Not as quality, not as beautiful, not as vibrant, not as durable. Shop with your girl, the Sacred Circle, powered by Black It Up. As you can see, the Sacred Circle hula hoops just like a regular hula hoop. This is by far the most flyest, dopest investment that you could ever invest in. Your girl has lost 40 pounds since September, detoxing and hula hooping. Come get with me. All right, peace.
Two, one. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Full of Experience. We have another great edition for you all. Episode 220. We have the wonderful creators of Black It Up.
Yes.
How y'all doing today?
We are doing good.
Definitely feeling great.
That's what I'm talking about, y'all. And I'm about to say, y'all can do better introduction than I can.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, hey y'all, I'm Aubrey.
Tom's Maggie.
And we are the creators of Black It Up.
Ooh, that was much better.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we gotta get our intro together like that.
Absolutely. A little practice. Y'all gonna have to
The practice, yeah. So I like to ask everybody, you know what I'm saying, Cleveland born and raised?
Oh yeah.
East Cleveland.
East Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Okay, come on, shout out to East Cleveland one night.
Yeah.
Shaw alumni.
Shaw High.
So I just assume everybody who went to Shaw is already in the marching band, regardless they can play the drum or not.
I was in the marching band.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in percussion.
Yeah.
So we talking about drum, we talking about all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lawrenceville
was our arch enemy, you know. So it's definitely something to see now. Our band directing our arch enemy, but I digress.
I got you. Okay. We about to Cat Williams today, not today.
Not today.
Go there.
Okay.
It's all love, for real. It's all love.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so let me ask y'all this. So I believe that entrepreneurship is a nature versus nurture type ordeal. Like it's sometimes it's naturally inside you, sometimes it's cultivated throughout the journey or whatnot. How y'all say it's for y'all?
I take a combination, regardless, is what I'll say. I think leading has come naturally to me. And I just say that because I work in the healthcare industry right now and I have a leadership role within that. When it came to coming out of that role, even though it's a leadership position, when you are entrepreneurial, like that is a whole different ball game because now you're not an employee. You see what I'm saying? So regardless if you're a leader or not, when you're in someone else's organization, you just in that employee mindset. It's different when you got to come out of that and everything that happened is based off your decision. You see what I'm saying? On a whole nother spectrum. So although like working with people and gathering people and getting things to run, that part came naturally to me, but it takes way more than that to be an entrepreneur. You see what I'm saying? Because everything kind of fall on your plate, and the things you have to have realistic conversations with yourself.
Yeah.
If you can't have a realistic conversation with yourself as an entrepreneur, it's already a fail.
This is already fail.
You see what I'm saying? Because when you see your shortcomings, you got to be able to look them in the face to say, "Hey, I could do better here." If not, I have to be willing to pass the torch to who can. And a lot of entrepreneurs, it's hard for them to do that because they know it's gonna be 100 if they do it. But if you a business, you can't run a business like that. You gotta learn to delegate and get that to somebody else, and that don't come naturally for a lot of people. What you think?
Oh yeah, it's the same. I would say I had to kind of force myself because I'm not the biggest people's person. You know, I can be around people, but just engaging with people on a high level, high energy, that is not my forte. But I had to force myself to do so because that's what our sales are based off of. It is doing vendor events or going to events and making people come to you. You have to, you know, be smiling, be approachable, have your energy on point, looking a certain type of way for like hours on end. And so it really took some inside talking, like, okay, Aubrey, you about to go outside, you got to smile, you got to be nice, you meet this person, you know what I'm saying, and turn it on. So, but it just takes a lot. And then I need like 3 or 4 days to recuperate afterwards.
Oh yeah, the energy exchange be crazy sometimes when we're out. So I think it takes a little bit of both. Even if it comes natural to you, you still have to put so much time and effort to kind of cultivate that to get it really up to speed. And so the combination is best. But some people don't have it at all. You know, they have to learn everything. They don't have those basic skills. See, the thing about when you're under someone else's institution, they already got the brand is already built. You see what I'm saying? So that type of footwork, you don't have to put that same type of effort in,
right?
Because it's already been done. You're just waiting for the customer to get here, and then you're on the delivery end of things. Versus, okay, I got to think about the message, getting them to come, what type of experience, this type of mindset. And a lot of people, I think that's where they kind of struggle or where they kind of give up because that's where it get hard.
Let me do this one time. I'm sorry. y'all unpacked a lot just there, and I just love that. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all were playing today. Y'all were not playing today. So no, shout out to y'all. And let me ask y'all this because like, what are other iterations of before y'all have Black It Up? What? Because I know, you know, I'm pretty sure it was y'all first iteration, or was there iteration before this y'all started?
You said inspiration.
Well, other brands y'all started before Black It Up.
Oh, no. So the story with that is I used to work at Cleveland Clinic, and I'm a very real person. I don't mind putting people or institutions or company on blast or whatever. I was working at Cleveland Clinic for about 10 years or so, hated it. And so I ended up quitting in 2019. In 2008. Was it 2019?
You on point.
Yeah, 2019. And I was just like, okay, because I was just dealing with racism and just that whole thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm more than this. I'm not about to work my whole life at this job, at this institution that cares nothing about me. So I quit, and I quit on 12/12 intentionally. 2000. 18.
No, I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I put on 12/12 regardless of the year, 18 or 19. And I was just thinking like, okay, how we gonna get it? What we gonna do? How we gonna get some money? So it's just brainstorming. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Or whatever. So I'm like, okay, clothes. Like I like clothes. I like fashion. I like putting stuff together. So it's like, okay, but what would we call it? So then we were going back and forth, back and forth. Like, what is something like? What do I personally care about?
Right.
I always put community first,
Right.
Black people first. So we was like on the back porch,
Yeah.
just chilling,
Yeah,
and we was just like, "What about Black or whatever?" And it's like Black, like yeah, Black, but we'll change it up and we'll make it all symbolic or whatever. And we was like, okay, Black, like okay, that could work. And so we did that, and we drew up the concept, multiple concepts, because this was not the first one that we came up with.
Yes.
And then we attached meaning to every symbol within our logo, and that's how it was created.
Yeah. So one thing I love about y'all is, you're right, it's way more than just the material. It's a full-fledged message and movement.
Yeah.
So can we go into what the symbols are? Because it is such a staple. When you see it, it's like, wow, that's nice.
Yes, appreciate that. Yes. I can break it down for you guys, especially since it's kind of like bold on her shirt here. So when you see the V, it's really the number 13, which stands for transformation. And then the L is really two daggers for the African warriors. We've always been inspired by like Egypt and the pyramids and ancient Kemet and all of that. So when you see the A, that is a representation of the pyramids. And the I in the middle, people see this all the time, it's on the dollar. And a lot of people associate it with the Illuminati. But this is an ancient symbol, and really what it is the Eye of Horus. Okay. Wow. And if you think about the Eye of Horus, it's kind of like in modern times, I guess the story that would be closest to him would be Simba. And the reason why I say Simba is because the story of Horus, his father was killed by his brother Set. This is a common story that y'all hear all the time with Cain and Abel, right? But we told
ways.
You hear it in so many different depictions throughout time. So that's how ancient this symbol is. But the one I know a lot of people will be able to get with is with Simba, because guess what? Horus went back and defeated his uncle, just like Simba went back and did with Scar. So anyway, so you got Horus, and then the C is the crescent moon, which is also an alchemy silver. And then the K is a three-piece component. The back end of it is a bamboo stick, which is for harmony. The feather is for freedom, and then the elephant trunk is for wisdom. So when you see this, it's very powerful on a lot of different spectrums. It tells a story, history, and a lot of things that we're made up of, like nature and things of this nature. So that's the reason why we chose those components to piece together from art, learning, and history at that point in time. So.
And nobody has done what we have done.
Like
nobody has done it. And we are all about setting the tone and marching to the beat of our own drum.
Yes.
So many people do the same thing, wear the same thing, talk about the same thing, have no sense of style, no sense of creativity.
Yes.
And we really just wanted to set the tone, and that's what we did. So now we're just in the process of how can we globally get that out.
That message.
No, that's dope. I love wearing stuff that has a message behind it. Like I like to say I've gotten away from wearing designer brands to most. I gotta stop wearing J's and all that good stuff. But I try to wear some message that reminds me of myself, reminds me of who I am and stuff like that or whatever. But I love the fact that I'm gonna buy one a day, or we'll talk afterwards.
Okay.
Wear some of the message though. It reminds myself and others of who we are and whatnot. And I feel like we're going through a renaissance. I feel like more of us are going to that. Getting into that and whatnot.
Which is excellent at this point in time, because it's definitely necessary and needed. That's what brought us to even making this concept. Because when we went out and went back to the community, because that was the biggest thing, getting our time ate up at work, and we're like, dang, when last time we went to the community? Like, we need to be out here and putting time and effort. It takes people to actually come out, not just talk about it, but actually come out and be a part of the community. So when we got to thinking about that, we like, yo, how can we get back out to the forefront? And that's how we, came up with this concept, because it's all about that. But when we started to try to collaborate and partner with people, it became very difficult. And what was that? I'm like, but what is the most difficult portion? And I was like, it's the education. It's the lack of knowing. So when you have these conversations with people, we were hitting a dead stop. So I'm like, yo, so that's across the board.
Exactly.
So I'm like, yo, this is the starting point.
Yeah.
We need to teach. We need to educate. So that's how we came up with those symbols.
I love that. And what I really love, even like, just deep diving into you guys, one of your first things that you say is, I'm the co-founder and I'm a historian. And I was like, oh, so she really knows what you're talking about. Because like you say, we have the same conversations, right? Mm-hmm. But we don't really have any type of transformation with the information. So I love that you actually hit on that, but I really love that you all are conscious of the culture, but also of being community change agents. It's like, okay, we're not just trying to sell online. We're going out of our way to show up where you are in places, putting our faces in these places. What have you found when it comes to collaboration are some of the things that you look for people that you actually want to deal with? And not to say nobody's not worth dealing with, but those who who are serious versus just curious and kind of want to jump on the train.
Yeah, professionalism, and it is just about your message in life and your brand, how you brand yourself, because we have to be selective in that type of way, because what you do, and if we collaborate, people will affiliate us with you. Right. So it's like you are free to live your life. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. But when it comes to collaboration, and depending on what it is, we have to be a little specific about it. But if you're about your business, if you're professional, you care about Black people and not just false flagging on the internet, but you're out here not just when the cameras are out here or just for the media or whatever, then we're more than willing to collaborate with those other people.
Exactly, because for me, that's at the top of the list. If you're not putting Black people at the top of that list, I'm more unlikely to walk away. And for a big reason, a lot of times you see Black people get together and money be the deciding factor that break them apart. Because money is too high on that priority list. That shouldn't be at the top of the list. We all should be trying to get money and making sure this money is moving around. Because we already know the Black dollar is not circulating in our population in a healthy way, not at all. It's only in there for what? Within
6
hours?
hours.
Within hours. So I think the Asian community may be the area where it circulates the most before it goes outside. So to me, if you can't respect that, then automatically I know that we're out of alignment. You see what I'm saying? Because it's going to come into greed. It's going to start talking about other things that's going to put that before our people. And that has been the constant, just time after time, separation within us. So, and that's one thing that I feel like that we do as we started to build this empire. We always knew that we were going to start from a knowledge point of view, but it was important for us to continue to grow and pivot and make Black It Up like a fountain, where it's dumping out so much into the community, it's bringing it back in for others to get, and it'll be able to keep blossoming and growing and spreading out in the community. And then eventually, although we're putting the effort to get it going, the people will be the moment to keep it going. Because that's another thing, you got to be able to pass the torch.
No, you're fine. And I was going to say, already inspiring, you guys' story. So for someone who's watching who is already inspired by wanting to get the message out there in their own unique way, what would be some of the things that you guys encountered in the beginning stages when it was just getting started, as far as the struggles with getting that business started? What would you say for someone who's wanting to get the message out there? Because it's a little different, like you said, trying to get your message conveyed out there to the people that aren't used to having such a symbolic background.
I would definitely say perseverance, because there's so much that can come at you. You want to give up. You don't know where to go. You don't know where to start. People don't want to help you. People want to try to charge you hundreds or thousands of dollars to try to get you up to speed. Social media, you comparing yourself to other brands and businesses that have already been established, and you're trying to get to where they are already at, and they've been 10 years in the game and you're on week 1. It is not the same type of playing field. But when you are focused and create goals and a mission and values, then you have something to work for and towards. And when you have a purpose outside of yourself, that is what will keep you going.
Yes, I think it's very challenging with the youth when you are getting started because of how much the world is changing at a rapid pace with the information age. You have so much information at your fingertips, but it kind of means nothing if you have no direction. So I think the biggest thing is really getting to know yourself. The more you know and understand yourself, it's going to be the fuel for the most part. And the reason why I say that is because when things come to you, you'll know how to handle them because you know yourself. So you will be able to listen intuitively what to do. That's a hard thing to do when you're getting started. And when you're trying to pursue something that you may feel passionate about one week, you may change your mind. So being able to have grace and knowing like, hey, maybe that was just the one thing to get you going. Yeah. And I think sometimes when we hold on, it becomes our baby. And we don't want to let it go because, you know, you put so much time and effort to this one thing, you don't want to just let it go, but don't be afraid to let it go. That time and effort, you have to pour a lot into yourself because this journey is not easy. Yeah. And the only way that you get better is being able to look at yourself and correct.
And I would also add, just within this journey as being Black women has its challenges because a lot of the times within knowledge, you mostly see Black men in the forefront. Even when we went to Egypt, that was a challenge all within itself because when I really thought about all the experiences and feedback that I've heard from other people from when they went to Egypt, it was from a man's perspective, never from a woman's perspective. So going over there, 2 women over in Egypt, it definitely was a culture shock in a sense, but definitely a trip that everyone should go to. But sometimes, just as Black women, we are questioned a lot that I feel like Black men would not be questioned as much. And you don't see a lot of Black women in the forefront showcasing their knowledge, history, African spirituality, and really talking that stuff. We're always put in the background, or we have to be just on the side of a man. We can't have our own voice. So just being a Black woman, Black women who know our history, know our culture, are proud being who we are, that was definitely a challenge, but we showed up and showed out. So
I want to ask you a question. I'm sorry. Oh, so make sure I get you up like this. So we got 2019, 2018, 2018, 2019, and we know what came after that, right? So I want to talk about the journey y'all went through during that time because I'm pretty sure that our schools in itself with COVID have happened or whatnot. So I want to make sure we get because I want to make sure we get all the story or whatnot.
Yeah, so we created Black It Up in 2019, and then we were sitting on the back porch in the summertime, and then still going over everything, still going over the symbols and meanings, how we want to launch it, what we want it to look like, and everything like that. And then our launch date was in March of 2020. COVID happened to happen, but we didn't do it because COVID happened. This was not, oh yeah, let's hurry up and try to make some money and get rid of it the next year. No, this is something that we had already planned and prepared for. And then COVID happened, and then we just had to kind of navigate and adjust from there. But it was definitely very eye-opening because at first we were only online. And so that was very difficult because people buy into not only the brand but into you. And so so it was hard when everyone's inside, no one's really outside. So we did not have the opportunity to do vendor events and people to get to know us, talk to us, feel our energy, have that type of exchange. So it was very challenging. So it was like we'll be on social media a lot and things like that. And then once we kind of got out of that era and was like, okay, let's take everything off of online, bring it back to the house and go to vendor events and things of that nature, talk to the people, be amongst the people. Oh, it was such a great experience because, it was kind of like a fear that people wouldn't be receptive to this knowledge. And a good amount of people aren't. A lot of Black people walk right by us like, we are, I don't even know. I don't even know what they're thinking, but it doesn't deter us, and we sometimes when we see that, we're just like, hey, how are you? We bring them over and stuff like that. And then they're like, wow, I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, see the knowledge. They bring it right back to the knowledge. See, we have our audience. Because somebody look at these symbols and know with one of these symbols, they're already drawn. They're gonna come and start asking us information, which we enjoy and welcome. I want to scale it back just a little bit to 2020. So it was like it had its challenges, but the perk side of it is when the Black movement took off.
I was gonna ask about that because I'm also
That's right. Unfortunately, with those circumstances, especially with the brother Floyd, you know what I mean. After that, it put a whole lot more attention on anybody with a small Black business.
Absolutely.
So we did feel the ripple effect of that. And just so happened when we came around that being, like she said, we ended up launching on the day of
Marcus Garvey.
Yes, to America.
Y'all very intentional when y'all do things.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we had just did a photo shoot right before that about the Matrix, because that's a big thing. We like to kind of talk about that a lot because that systematic system is important for people to know what it is and how to navigate it. So we had did a snippet on that when we had launched, and then like she was getting around to, then finally once we got out of the COVID and we was able to go to a vendor event, our first vendor event was at the Real Black Friday on the NBA or the All-Star weekend. So it was already, we already came back in with a bang and was able to get so many people in front of us. When I say our table was like non-stop, people was like standing in line, had left, came back, come talk to us because it was just non-stop and just a lot of love and just cool to see people looking from afar and finally get to connect with us and the energy to be receptive like what we intended. So I think it was a dope experience coming around. But it did have its challenges because we wasn't expected to have to pivot like that out the gate. You know what I mean? To be strictly online, So for sure.
And I want to ask you, so I don't have a clothing brand, I'm not gonna lie to you, but these are my fears, and help me with this.
Yeah.
One, the material. My understanding of the material is pay a lot into how you get the
all that, on the clothes. Yeah, that was the whole thing. Learning that.
I was gonna ask you how y'all get through those obstacles of knowing which material to get.
Shout out to Joanne Fabric. We went through everything, read all the labels to understand what I'm saying. It's like you have to just kind of get in there. But Aubrey already had a thing for fashion, like growing up. Like she can tell y'all more about that. But like I feel like so it was already kind of on her radar a different way than it was for me. I was more so like fixated on the messages, like because I'm like, yo, that's the whole reason we just picked the clothing because that's the quick. Everybody see you wearing somebody wearing something. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And they started feeling, where you see that? Where you see that at? And it becomes kind of seclusive to that particular area. You know what I'm saying? Like, where did that vibe come from? So anyway, I was just kind of like focused on the message, but Aubrey had more of an eye for things like that, just because of things she was into.
Well, I would say yes. I always had an eye for fashion and stuff like that, and more creative design. I didn't think going to Black It Up was more going to be streetwear, urban wear. And then we have this discussion from time to time. Like, I'm so tired of hoodies and joggers and t-shirts. I'm so tired of it.
I feel attacked now.
That's my go-to.
It's not my go-to, And I want something for women and being sexy and seen and stuff like that. We eventually branched off the dresses, but I've always had in my mind just something. I'm really into like Africa and African prints and art and stuff like that, and putting stuff together. I don't know how to sew, but I think I have a good eye. So that's where I thought that we would go, and maybe we still will. And we also do good when we personalize different things like jackets, jean jackets, and things of that sort. One of the things that made us kind of do our own thing, going to Joann's, going to Michael's, going to these different fabric stores, was we had a young man, I won't say his name, but he has a printing company. And so we went down there just to talk to him and just try to get some feedback, like, okay, I see you have your own store, you have your own designs, and what's up with that? And basically the brother, I mean, I get it, because I get not just giving things for free, but he really wanted us to pay him just for to answer conversation, which I do get that, because it's like at the end of the day, you do spend your time, your energy, your frequency, your vibrations into learning about your craft, and that's not free. So I do get that to a certain extent, but it's like, come on, brother, like, come on.
And there's a way to ask or engage in that way.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, like, let's have a luncheon or something like that. You could just put it out there. And if the person, like, which you had to say, more likely they'll pick up the tab, is how I look at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's like most of the time, because once you make that gesture, it's kind of like an unspoken thing, right? Anybody in any professional atmosphere will understand what I'm saying. I know some people be like, that don't come with a given, but it kind of does. You know what I mean? Because it just shows your appreciation. So when he came off more so like a braggadocious versus kind of being inviting, or just saying, you know, sister, I really just don't have the time, because when I'm in my business, I'm here. But if you would, like, you know, this, like, it's just a way to handle those things, even if you didn't want to. You know what I mean? There's just a way to do it professionally, and that's unfortunately we don't see that often.
No, and I know one of the things that we always been trying to. I always talk about bartering. I know it's so antiquated. People like, what's bartering? Come on now. This is what we this is things that we have done in previous iterations, Black Wall Street, all these things before. That if you see the value to you, okay, well, what do you do that can contribute to what I got going on? And I don't know why we got away from that. We just put everything with the mindset of monetary, which I get, but at the same time, you have value, also. Let's try to see how we can add value to each other.
Yeah, and I think we lost that just through, unfortunately, just the matrix again, and they just kind of teach you how to take orders, how to kind of think in that frequency that you're talking about. It's not that often on our day to day, unless you come from like the hood or something like this, because people gonna be trying to sell you something at some point, you know what I mean? So it's like you kind of get used to that depending on your atmosphere, but most people, they don't, you know what I mean? And they don't know how to go about it. Like, negotiating wasn't something that came easy to me. It took for me to pursue what we do in our business and that work to negotiate my worth. You know what I mean? And I've been trying to talk to other Black people about this, because I feel like it's a uncomfortable territory. And a lot of times we don't know how to determine our worth, because when you pursue a career, they slap a dollar sign on top of that. People get stuck to say, that's my worth. I can't supersede that number. And you can, but you need to know who is the person that superseded that number, and how did they do it? How did you talk? Then you got to learn the language. So once I started to notice that, and listen to other doctors, talk to doctors about that, like when you go in these facilities, you need to know your worth first. And I said, dang, nobody come and talk to us like that. I'm like, how do I even determine what my worth is? You know what I mean? So that's the game changer, and able to apply that within business. Because I negotiate and bargain all type of stuff. Because if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. I've never been the type of person to hold on to some money. If it's worth it, I'm going to pay the price. And people know that. And most of the time, you say my name, they're going to be like, oh, no. That's for sure. They gonna pay the price. Like, I ain't gotta worry about them finagling me, because that's just not what we do. And how can I say that I care about people that look like me and then try to shortchange you? You know what I mean? That don't make no sense. So I gotta show value in that way too. You know, so this voice of reasoning right here.
I'm going to ask you about that, because, you know, I love dynamics, right? Especially amongst team, right? Because, like, you know, we got our team, as y'all can see. Y'all see a lot off camera. You know, right. But how do y'all, if there ever, not to say disagreements, but whenever there are when there are disputes,
difference of opinion.
Different opinion. Like, how do y'all settle those things on designs or how to going forward in the business?
You know, we are still figuring it out. We are still figuring it out.
Let me hit that one time. I love that.
Stay transparent enough. So thank you for staying transparent.
Yes. it is not easy. We are not the same person. We do not have the same vision. We do not have the same experiences. We do not have the same perspective. We do not have the same style. So it's like, but I feel like she trusts me and my vision because like back in the day, as a young teen, I used to stay on punishment a lot. So I used to stay in my room and I used to read magazines, Vogue, Teen, Elle, Jet magazine at the hair salon. So I was always looking at fashion, always looking at clothes, always looking at higher end stuff, lower end stuff, and just how to put that together. And so my vision, she does not always agree with that. So we have a little tiff about it. And sometimes I walk away with an attitude and I just don't have nothing to say. And, but we always come back because the brand is bigger than a disagreement. It's bigger than, I don't think that color's right and stuff like that, because it's like at the end of the day, we need to sustain our professional relationship and make it work, because we have a vision, we have goals, and we have a brand to put out here.
That's right. And I think that's what helps us navigate everything, because we have a very, very high respect level for one another. That, it doesn't become just, I get in my feelings and then I feel some type of way and can misdirect that energy. We don't do that. That doesn't happen when we have a disagreement. We may talk about why we like it versus why she may like it. And then we may be able to come to a term where we say, okay, well, maybe we'll release this first, or maybe I just didn't like this aspect of it. And that's okay. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just talk about it. But since we already have that,
this is a great time in Cleveland tonight, and I think what we look at is Black excellence on display right now.
I feel blessed. From the moment I walked in the door, I heard Mr. Whedon and congratulations and everything. Now all the way up to upstairs, same thing, man. It's a blessing.
I am feeling really grateful, very blessed. It's just an amazing experience to be able to be in the room with so many amazing people and people that are game changers and world changers. That's breaking bread and making businesses in Cleveland, Ohio.
This is a night for the books for not only Cleveland but Ohio. I'm so proud of Tenora.
it's easy to kind of come back. Like she said, we may walk away from it, but then we'll come back, because if it's a message or something that we have agreed upon, then we'll just keep teeter-totting ideas to figure out where can we meet. Where can we meet in the middle without compensating the message or the quality or just overall how it looks. So
because you all have a great energy, just a great dynamic within each other, and I like how you all seem to balance one another. There's different, it's just a flow that works perfectly with what y'all have going on. Have y'all always had that within meeting each other, or is that just something that cultivated from being around each other for so long?
Oh yeah, that's the essence of a Taurus and a Virgo. That's the essence of a Taurus and a Virgo, just naturally who we are. It balances well with each other. And like I said, that respect level is everything. That's the reason why it stays in flow. Because if not, it would stay parked in one of our territories, because we both are very strong-willed and very opinionated and strong-minded. So it's like we don't compensate that for each other as far as feelings.
Oh yeah, she know when the bull come out, the horns come out.
I gotta go gather my weed over here or something. Come to weed gather, whatever, man. Get out of here.
But it has taken some time and just respect and respecting who she is, her viewpoints, her standpoints, and stuff like that. It's a great balance because once upon a time, people would maybe say I used to be mean, but I have, since meeting her, have became a little bit nicer, and this has prompted me into, again, customers, because sometimes, especially with white people, they come to our table and they want to battle us, they want to have conversations, they want to talk about slavery, they want to talk about
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
They'll
Yes.
debate you about your
Yes.
brand.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but they be coming from different angles sometimes. Like if they had a form of slavery or something like that, they may want to talk
That's
about
crazy.
that. So, yeah.
So
we know their history too. So here we go.
yeah. So it's good because she's more willing to talk to them. I'm more willing. I walk away,
Yes,
because
she
I
does.
don't have the time.
Oh, yeah, facts are facts. And the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
And if you felt comfortable coming to me to say that, I feel comfortable giving it right back to you flat out.
Facts are facts. What episode?
I'll be right there, man. Come on. Because that's their favorite thing. They like to come from an angle sometimes that they feel like we may be unfamiliar with. Like I had an Irish gentleman come up and he wanted to talk about that. I'm like, wait a minute, but the story of the Irish, y'all paid today. You was able to walk away. Hold on, wait a minute. When you came over here, it was a different story because he was going on and on. I said, wait a minute, you must not know my last name. It's Irish origin. You understand? So I just started talking to him about it or whatever. I was like, when did your people get free? He like looked at me crazy, like I'm like, gotcha. Gotcha. Come on, man. We gotta bring the facts, because we're not here to belittle people. It's just about the truth and making it comfortable for people. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times people don't want to talk about it because it's an uncomfortable conversation. I don't want it to be an uncomfortable conversation because these are conversations that need to be had.
That be had. No, I always bother me the fact that we have our flag as only flag that they have a problem with.
Yes.
Which I've never understood that. Puerto Rican flag up all day.
Irish
flag up all day. Italian all day. But you put that red, black, and green up, they're like,
they're like
they're
fireworks.
doing this. Like, oh my goodness, like it's crazy.
Right.
But I digress.
So here's a question, because we've had panels before, and the last one we had was about the whole affirmative action reversal and how it related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. What are you all's thoughts on just the idea? Because I'm big on being pro me don't mean I'm anti you, and I love that your message is pretty much it is what it is, and just like I said, people buy the person before they buy the product, right? And what I love about y'all are very like y'all are great thinkers. It's not like I staged this, I looked in the mirror, I said this 4 times fast, like Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean? It's just like I said, it's just a comfortable conversation. So what are your thoughts when it comes to teaching? Because I love what you said. Just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean we remove it. Right. We have to have it and push through that. Right. So how do you feel like would be best practices for different brands to continue to not force the conversation, but have the conversation? Let's address it so we can find better ways to move past it.
That's really good. As Maggie, I said before, it's really important about knowing who you are. And that is so deep on so many different levels, because most of us don't know who we are. We know our name, but our name does not signify who we are. Like what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you cry, what makes you excited. If I had to do something free for the rest of my life, what would that be? What am I most passionate about? Who am I? And so when you finally answer those questions within yourself, I mean, you look at the world totally different. You walk around totally different. You speak totally different. Your interactions are totally different. And it's a beautiful exchange. So I think, first and foremost, know who you are. Yes. And it's different levels. You need to heal. And I know everyone's a big thing about therapy and mental health and stuff like that, which is beautiful. Do what works for you. But we are Black It Up. So for me, I tapped into the ancestors. I tapped into giving reverence to the ancestors, getting to know them, setting up an altar, talking to them, talking to family and getting to know who my past ancestors were, to really get a real good feeling of who I am in totality. And it's like, yes, they're dead and passed on, but the spirit never dies. Energy never dies. They speak to you, in all types of ways and all types of occurrences, and they will help guide you. So it's like with affirmative action and a reversal, what's meant for you is meant for you. And if it's not meant for you, build your own.
And that's the thing, what she's saying right now. And I know for some people, they might think like, well, how is that going to help me be inclusive? Because it's going to give you the courage to walk your truth in your own light without it being dictated by how other people feel. And that is so important when you do this type of work, because without it, you have no foundation. So how can I feel comfortable talking to a white person if I don't feel comfortable with my truth as a black person? How am I going to talk about slavery if it made me feel just that uncomfortable? You see what I'm saying? I haven't had these realistic conversations with myself where I can go and talk about these things. Like, I think that has so much to do with being able to be inclusive, because then now you wearing multiple lenses. I try and tell people all the time, like, sometimes I feel like I may be able to talk about things and it seems like it's well-rounded. But I always have this vision of myself, like if I'm in this tall story building, I may be on the 20th floor, right? So I may have a great view of everything, but it's 100 floors. You understand what I'm saying? So no matter what, I'm still limited in my view. So it's just like you have to kind of have that type of mindset so that you can constantly keep hearing other people's thoughts and opinions.
That's good.
When you get upset about it, really, it's just a reflection on things that you need to work within yourself. A lot of people don't feel that way. I didn't feel that way for a very long time, and somebody brought that to my attention that I had some things to work on, because I thought I was so good with people, blah, blah, blah. And this person used to really strike a nerve. And I'm just like, why is that bothering me? I'm like, because you want to always have the right answer. You can't always have the right answer. And that's okay, you know? And that's what that person brought to my realization. So sometimes you just gotta open your mind up, man. You know, that's what helped you be able to, people to relate.
That's good right there. That's good.
Oh, for sure.
Now, speaking of panels, then we're going to segue. We have another one coming up. And our next one is all about love, entrepreneurship, and navigating, because it's so much people really don't understand. So there's certain topics that we would love to hear your perspective on, because there's just so much across the board. Now, we've already kind of talked about the idea of just, we're not always going to see eye to eye. And one of us got to kind of just sit in it for a minute, and then we're going to come back, because that's the point, right? But what are some other things people don't talk about enough before going into business together, where it's like, this should have been addressed, or we should have at least thought about it, and we didn't know until we came to that bridge?
That's a tricky one.
I would say money and who would take the lead in certain things, because roles, because I may be good in certain endeavors and she may be good in others. So, but if we never talk about that, how will we know?
Right.
And so that
or
is
just assign it without even realizing or seeing that, oh, maybe we need to switch.
Right.
Okay.
Because
suck at that too.
there will be times, like I told you, like I have a low tolerance for some people, and she's way nicer than I am. So I just might tap her, like, go ahead, because I'm not talking, you know, and she knows what that tap means. Like, I'm done with that. So I think just having real conversations and, like I said, money can definitely be a factor that can tear you apart or cause disagreements. Whether you feel like you're not getting paid enough or you're doing more work, so you should get paid more, you know, but having an agreement of what you will be paid and how that will be dissected, I think is so very important.
Yeah, so it depends on if you're coming into this with a partner or by yourself. So with a partner, those are hard lines conversation that you have to talk about, roles and money. How y'all gonna manage the money? What's the split? So you don't want nobody getting in their feelings, or you need to change something. Like, this is a constant conversation. I think that a lot of times when people start, you want to do everything by yourself. You want to take charge of too much stuff up front, and you have to learn to go ahead and you gotta delegate. You gotta let somebody else, because you can't do everything. You cannot. And if you're trying to build an empire of any, those people aren't doing the work. Someone else is doing the work, you know? So you have to kind of get out of that and be okay with your idea being completely ran and poured into by someone else outside of you.
Can you hit that button? I mean, when you're right, what you say, the fact is the facts. Let's have this conversation.
I'm trying to tell you, like, that right there is something right there. And I just feel like it's not easy to get out your own way, man. For real. Once you realize everybody is not your enemy, you have to defeat your ego. Every day that ego telling you something else or trying to deviate you from the plan, you have to have the tenacity just to be able to stay focused, but with grace. That's the other thing, right? You can't do it every day either. You gotta be able to chill. When you gonna chill and pour back into yourself so you can get back out here and keep fighting. It's not an easy thing to do. I think that's. I'll probably leave it right there for.
What are some of y'all preferences when it comes to being supported while you're running a business? Because yes, we have a joint business. I got listen, you had a day and so did I.
Yeah.
We got jobs. I still had a day on top of this next day that we having together.
Oh, yeah.
I still have a business outside of our joint business. How do you all best feel supported by your partner to say, you know what? I know that you got my back when this happens. Like, that is my clue. And it's like, you know what? You love me, huh?
Yeah, well, I think grace, and just having that understanding that
You say it every time you eat.
that everything is not going to be perfect. You are not going to, with consistency. Some people think it's 100% every single day, but it doesn't always look like that. Some days it might be 20. Next day it might be 36. The next day it might be 80.
That's right.
The next day it might be 3. The next day it might be 5. The next day might be 0. But to have that type of understanding, like, okay, we're still going at it, we're still doing stuff, we're still being proactive. I support you, and this is just what it is. Currently, for me personally, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I more so do the content on social media. I have not been wanting to be on social media, especially Instagram, even though Instagram and Facebook are one and the same. But it's bothering my soul and my spirit because they shadow ban Black people when they share real information, when we share Black experiences, Black stories, Black culture, African Black spirituality, and then they label as misinformation, and then they try to control us by shadow banning us, telling us we have to make more reels, more stories, more posts. And it's like, I do not live online. I do not live in this cyber fictional world. Like, I live in the real world in real time, have a real life, and just like to be me. And so it has been very challenging to stay on social media and to be relevant. But to me, I'm like, relevancy is in real life. I talk to people, I engage with people. My best conversations are candid. They're off camera. They're like one-on-one. And so no one or social media could ever take that away.
Right.
So it's like, and she gets on me with that a little bit, like, oh, you're not posting, or you're slipping. And I just like, and I'm like, I cannot. You have trolls on there that want to go back and forth with you. They create these fake profiles, and I be having time most of the time because I know how to use my words, and I'm not triggered by a lot, but it's more so what Facebook is doing, what Instagram is doing, trying to shadow ban and block real information. So,
yeah. For me, when I feel supported, I think that I'm always doing a lot of stuff in a different way. So our worlds day to day look different. And sometimes I just get kind of wrapped up in that. And then she may message me and say, hey, did you see that such and such just wrote you about this with the business? I might have missed it. You know what I mean? But she'll put it right back on my radar. Or, maybe we'll have, because we have business meetings or whatever so often. And in the meeting, I may share an idea like, hey, this would be cool. We may go back and forth, bounce on the idea or whatever. And then the opportunity will come up. Maybe I was busy, man. I'm at work. I'm doing this, that, and the third. She see the opportunity. And she'll send it like, hey, did you see? And I'm like, oh, my God. And boom, that's something that made all the difference, And we constantly look for other things because being Black in America, you need several different forms of income, streams of income, okay? So since we came up with this idea, we already, first of all, we were already investors before it had even hit the ground with a clothing line. So, just dumping money into Robinhood at that point in time, in which we still invest, and, that's going great. But we already knew that there would be multiple streams, and being able to have at least 3 of those streams that we originally said that we would start is good to be able to look up, 4 or 5 years and be like, okay, all those things are in motion. Now we're starting to see how the wheels are going to turn and drive this big entity. So, that's what been making me happy. I'm like, yes, another one. We right on time. You know what I mean? It is challenging to live your life and have other things, a family, a home, stuff like that. We recently bought a house, and it's just
congratulations, yo. We get that one time.
So yeah, but knowing saying, hey, we gonna do this and do that. We say we was gonna get into real estate, and we were able to do that within a year. You know what I mean? So it's just it just made me feel good to see the positive things that we do and see how it could possibly impact our lives as well. So, and being able to share that, because like I said, keeping the dollar in motion is so important to us. Yeah. That has a lot to do why we out here doing it, because our people, we need this now. We needed it yesterday. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And it ain't about asking or begging nobody, because each and every one of us has what it takes to be that, And the thing is, it's just a lack of information most of the time and resources and the trust. Yeah. Us feeling some type of way and making it hard to trust one another. So we trying to tear that down, change that narrative, and make it easy for people to trust.
As entrepreneurs, I know the mind is always going. So, as you said, trying to look for multiple streams of income. So, what is some different avenues you would love to tap into business-wise for future endeavors?
To further our endeavors with real estate, really, we're on a real estate kick.
Forgot the word.
Yeah. We're on a real estate kick right now, and real estate is not going anywhere. What goes up comes down, and it's just what it is. But most Black people, I forgot the percentage, so I'm not gonna lie, but it's a good amount of Black people who don't own homes. Yes. The wealth gap is crazy between Black people and white people. Even, it's crazy because the Latino or the Latinx community was once all the way down here, but now they have superseded Black people. So we only have about 4 or 5. I don't even think we have $4,000 or $5,000 in our savings account. I don't even think the average Black person even has $1,000 in their savings account. But with a lot of other ethnicities, they have been able to gain generational wealth through real estate. And I have been a firm believer just through living life and experiences and being who I am. Just seeing when certain family members pass away, how a lot of times they don't pass down anything except old clothes and shoes. And I just personally, I look at all the people who have passed away, from aunts to uncles to grandparents, great-grandparents. They haven't passed down not one thing because one, they didn't own it or they didn't pay it off. So it's like now, generation after generation after generation, what do I have to look forward to inherit? Yeah. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not going to say that because my dad, he has been proactive and will leave me a little bit of something once he passes away, far, far, far away from now. But at least, he has taken the time and the responsibility to leave something for his heirs. And I wouldn't have really known or been exposed to that if I didn't have that exposure. Yeah. So real estate is one of the easiest, fastest to really build generational wealth. So
so that's one of our favorites at the moment. But outside of the apparel, that and stocks, I would say more likely certain artifacts, because we're travelers. That's why we always say that about being historians. And the fact that we went to Egypt, we stayed there for 2 weeks, and that was a whole to do. And we looked to go to other areas, but to be able to collect certain things. One day we were watching this movie. Was it with Jim Carrey? I can't remember, but it was about this book. And it was like, I'm like, man, let me look this book up. And I looked up the book, and the book was like 12 grand or something, right? And I'm like, man, what is in this book? Then I started looking at all these books that they banned and this, that, and the third. And he had these books in a room that was temperature monitor, all this stuff, right? Like giving me the Vatican vibes. And I'm like, man, when we travel, we need to buy more books. We need to buy more of these antique things, you know? Like, so I think that is another channel, more likely. Art would be another channel for us. And precious metals will be another one. Always look over there to Africa because of how they grade the land and just how rich the land is. I know the American soil is pretty rich and we overlook that. Yeah. But nonetheless, but when you look at Mother Africa, it's like one of the richest.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, soils.
That's why everybody's there.
That's right. And just to see what they're doing with these minerals and these chips and stuff like that. So, you know, I look at things like that. For me, I am into the AI innovative side of things. Tech, like I'm looking at this like how you talk about the Earn Your Leisure Boys. I'm up on everybody like who is this? Like, you know, when I was learning about Kofi Bronner and how he got with Dan Gilbert and all, I'm like, man, look, I'm paying attention, and this is where it matters, especially these minerals and material. Or what I think I started to get fascinated is when we went to Egypt to see the materials that they used, the granite and stuff like that, the combinations that they did that far back. It's impressive. Wow. So. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. If there's a young man, a young lady watching right now who wants to start their own brand, what would you say are like priorities they need to get in order first to start their own brand? Would it be the message? Would it be the material, or would it be the pricing? Like what we find our priorities they need to get in order first before they start their own brand?
They gotta research. They gotta look more into it. Period. You gotta look at it. You got look. Even if you hit the ChatGPT one time, they don't give you the right steps to follow for the most part. But you have to really dig into that. You got to do the research because that's gonna let you know where to start. Protect your brand. You know what I mean? You don't want to sleep on that. Don't sleep on that.
You want like trademarking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You do not want to sleep on that. You want to get into that sooner than later. You may look at it like, man, that's too much money. There's different avenues. Like you could do what's it called? Legal Shield. They like you could just pay like maybe $50 to $100. It's like monthly. I know they got packages like $25 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month. But anyway, they give you a lawyer. You get any legal documentation. You got somebody 24 hours. If your business getting any bind, you got so many hours already paid for, and they'll do the trademark for you, copyright, patents, all that, and it's low versus you having to cough up $2,000. You know what I mean, to do it one time.
To way around it, absolutely.
Yeah, so don't let that deter you. Not only that, you can go get the help. Go down here to the Urban League. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. You want to do stuff like that to make sure that you got the help, the resources, so that you are taking the steps that you need. Don't think that you got to just get it out the mud and just do everything on your own, because I know we got YouTube University, but let me tell you, it's still a lot of books you got to go through to figure stuff out when you could just go straight to the sources, people out here that want to help you. Or if you know somebody already doing it, talk to them about it. Don't make that your competitor. And she the one who got me on that one. She said, just take a walk down the bread aisle. How many different brands do you see? You understand? Don't limit your mind. We in abundance.
Okay, well, I definitely agree. You got to protect the brand. It's just so important. During COVID, we seen this lady, this vegan lady, she's like a popular vegan lady. She wore a shirt that said black that resembled the conception of what we sent to an artist or whatever. So not just being ignorant, we didn't have any type of protection, or just being very naive about sending your artwork overseas or to anyone.
Wow. Right.
And it's not protected. We see that all the time with Shein, Temu, Fashion Nova. All they do is steal other bigger brands' creativity and sell it cheaply. And so that was a learning curve right there to protect the brand and also know your why. Why are you doing it? You know, you could just do it to get some money, to get some girls, to spread a message, whatever your reason is. Just know your why and stick. I wouldn't need to say stick with it, because sometimes things change. You pivot, you know what I'm saying? And you grow, and you need to learn when to let it go and go a different way.
You want to hear the hood way I heard the trademark? I heard if you put your stuff and mail it to yourself, that seal the envelope.
That's copyright, but
That's
right.
right.
But they don't honor it no more.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Since like 2022, they stopped that.
Oh, okay.
I got to hit up what you talking about then. Stuff I got to take care of. All right, y'all. So we talk about the past, talk the present, talk the future. Let's talk about that because, like, Brittany asked you guys about what your future endeavors are, but let's talk about the future of Black It Up. Like, what do y'all see Black It Up going further in the future?
Black It Up will go as far as Black It Up needs to go.
For what?
Sometimes at the moment we're still playing with things because it's like we may not be in the arena personally. This is me personally. I said that I was not going to keep on doing vendor events after this year. Vendor events are great. I love the energy. I love the exchange. I love meeting people. But it's something within me that it just gets real tiring when I have to try to convince you to buy my brand. I have to talk to you for so long for you to spend $20, and or for you just to walk away and don't spend any money whatsoever. And that type of exchange is something that I had to be real with myself. Like, I'm tired of doing that, but creating other avenues to where we can still have our brand and still promote it, and we still stand by the ethics and the core values of our brand. So going back to real estate, that is definitely an avenue that we plan on going down. We don't know exactly where it will lead us. We are in talks about different things. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I'm in the unknown right now.
Hey, well, so let me do Black It Up the song, because you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all get in real estate long enough, y'all can show the people how to get into it. Real, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can see that, you know what I'm saying?
Certainly. I think that what is going to happen is going to be always like a teacher, a former teacher. Some which way, form, or facet. We knew it was important for us to get the money up because we always see great people doing great things and wanting to pour into the community and becoming. That's why when I talk about like that tank, this is how I envision Black It Up. And when I say that, it's just funneling so much money that anywhere a Black It Up corporation sit, it'll be almost like an Amazon for a Black community. And that's how I look at it. It's a way to kick out resources, but it's fueled by the people. You know what I mean? So it can always stay alive long as the people are able to get something out of it. And I think when I started thinking about this, and we talked about this too, is when we thought about creating a foundation. And we were inspired by looking at Bill Gates, the Bill and Melinda Foundation, which has been running for so many years, and they have helped so many people all over the world. So to be able to create something like that and be able to help people all over the diaspora would be very impactful, but only to be in spaces where we can make a real impact or change around people who genuinely want that impact or change that we see out here. Like I said, people that put Black people first. So there's no doubt in my mind that we'll get to it. That's why she said that about the unknown, because it's really just pulling in these different forms of income to build this think tank. But like I said, even with the AI, like we think about helping children and getting ahead of the game with that, because we go to school and do career day, and I get tired of going. I don't want to come to a school and the kids telling me how they want to be just a doctor or a nurse. I don't want to hear that. You understand what I'm saying? Because yes, these people are important, but we have to be ahead of the curve. Like we're going into we're already in the information age. But when you talk about Bitcoin changing the game and what that infrastructure will look like, we need more innovators in that space as far as like engineers and stuff like that. We need more people putting money into kids that are talented early on to help them get into these spaces now. And they need more than just people that can fund them. They need the support. Sometimes you got talented children, but their household may not be what it needs to be. But someone who can come down and talk to the parents, say, yo, we're going to take care of this kid, whatever y'all need, and figure that out and be able to channel and push these children forward. You know, any legacy, what is a legacy without pouring into children constantly? So, you know, like I said, we big on information and knowledge and just figuring out ways to put our money where it matters most. Where can our people be positioned in order to help propel us forward? And like I said, it starts with basic conversation as far as knowledge. It starts with how we treat each other, how we talk to each other, how we raise our children. I get tired of people talking about generational wealth and you don't have a family or don't even know how to take care of a family. So their dollar is stopping at the door. Like, how we can't, let's talk about it. You know, you got big businesses like a Toyota thinking 200 years out. People's family legacy, they think about stuff that far out. No one has taught us to think and plan that far out, but that's something that's important to us. And that's the type of innovators and thinkers that we are. And I feel like it'll come to us because our heart is in the right place when it comes to our people. So.
Now, would y'all ever do like a public speaking event? Because you're right, I'm with you 100 on the vendor tables, but like where I transitioned was public speaking, and it's like, okay, you pay me to get on stage, let me say what I gotta say, and then just have a table at the end where you can still purchase and still keep going with the message, or even do like a Black weekend where y'all invite vendors to support y'all. You know, so y'all supporting them as they support y'all. But you know, something like that, I could see like, oh, that would be dope if they really did a Black it up.
I think that's basically what we gonna morph into, and we'll have like merch. I was telling her that I was like, every person that you see, no matter where they are, they all have their own merch or some type of way that they selling their brand. So it's like, it's good that we started out this way. You see what I'm saying? But as we grow and do other things, everybody, it'll all run back to those symbols and what we stand for.
Yeah, because that's the core. And I only said unknown because for me personally, I'm always growing. I won't even be the same person in the next hour.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know where I will be mentally, emotionally, psychologically within the next year, 2 years, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because we just don't know. We just don't know. But I do see great things in the message and the core, what we stand for, that will always be the same.
Yeah, for sure.
So mentorship in the future, because I know if someone's looking like, damn, I need mentors
specifically.
Definitely.
I would definitely be open to that, because I feel like finding a mentor is just not an easy thing, and I feel like I'm an excellent student. Because I feel like you can't lead or teach or anything if you can't be a student. And you're always a student. That's right. So it's like I'm always a student on top of that. So like I said, it's just not easy. Some people just not as down to earth or relatable, or they let their differences get in the way of, you know, potential growth. And I'm pretty good at not doing that and allowing the person to show up as they are, and still able to get them from point A to point B. Like, so for sure, I think that we both be good at that.
Y'all heard that? Y'all on camera now. You know what I mean?
And representation is important. So thank y'all for even just coming to share yourselves with us, because it's a lot to just. It's a lot.
Tired of carrying that load? Drop the house. Gutter Properties will buy your house as is with offers up to $300,000. Need serious repairs, liens, taxes, or judgments? We'll work through your unique situation to get that house off your back. During your free, no-obligation appraisal, we maintain social distancing and take every precaution to ensure your experience is safe. Drop the house. Gutter Properties. Call us or visit gutterproperties.com today.
Be like, okay, I'm gonna expose myself in this, because you know, sometimes, well, a lot of times our brands are a reflection of ourselves, but y'all have a dope brand, but y'all also are just dope people, which I love. So thank y'all for coming and just doing this with us.
This is what we love to do, for real, you know, and talk about, you know, positive things, man, because all you hear is so much negative stuff, man. And it could be a deterrent, you know, it make you not even want to go nowhere or do nothing, for real, you know. And then you hear about certain places people run to, like the Black Mecca, you know, Atlanta, you know what I mean? And I ain't mad, because it makes sense. And they moving money around. And you see what I'm saying? So it's like, why not go and submerge yourself in something like that? There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that once you figure that out, it become a rinse and repeat, because we need more than one Black Mecca.
Now, I'm glad you said that because that segues to my
Come
next
on now.
point.
Come on now.
One thing that we have a stigma here in Cleveland, a lot of people love to say, is that Cleveland is not a collaborative city. How can we change that narrative, in your all's opinion, to say, okay, this is going to be another one? We got Atlanta, we got Houston, we also got Cleveland. How are we going to make that happen?
Ooh, I think it's just about networking, because at the end of the day, you're going to find someone that wants to work with you. I do definitely believe there are gatekeepers within Cleveland, but there are so many people that hit us up within our inbox like, oh, can we work together? Oh, can we collaborate? Oh, I got this idea, let's team up. So, it's that stigma, but I think when people say that, I don't necessarily think they're really applying themselves or really getting out here, because it's a lot. Because it really comes so easy and effortlessly. Every time we're at a vendor event, we talk to so many people and we connect with so many people. We exchange business cards. We're given business cards. They're telling us about their organization, their church, what they have going on, their camps, or whatever that is. So we're collaborating all of the time. I think it's those people that stay in the house, that write memes on Facebook or Threads or whatever, that really don't get out here to apply themselves and put in the work that say these type of things. But Cleveland is definitely collaborative. Again, there are gatekeepers out here that keep on promoting the same people, doing the same things over and over again. But we are here to be change makers, chain breakers, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely room for collaboration here in Cleveland. But the gatekeeper, is good that you make emphasis on that, because I do truly feel like we could do better. I don't think that for whatever reason we don't do a good job at really staying on top of it. Like somebody that we work with made a good point. He was like, in Cleveland, somebody will support you one good time, and that'll be the last good time. Like, that's it. Like, I'm like, dang, you right. It is sometimes. It can be a little challenging for people to be consistent with certain things. But that's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we have our audience, the people that rock with us, they rock with us. So shout out to y'all. But I think that has a lot to do with it. And yes, like move on to other places. The networking is different. Like, I mean, they network. You could be walking down the street like, hey, how are you? What are you doing too? Blah, blah, blah. Here's my card. Like, when we was in Atlanta, everywhere we went, I mean, it's like non-stop collaboration. Like, everybody want to know what you into. Here, it's not like that, because I feel like people are more sometimes just funneled in on what they are doing and want to be that front and center of attention, that it'd be hard for them to really collaborate. I mean, the conversation is not in flow. It doesn't seem in balance. It seems like sometimes they're trying to recruit you over to help them, or it's not an even balance where we're both benefiting in a positive way. It seems like it may be leaning a little bit. It's too off balance. I understand it may be off a little bit, but to me, I feel like it's a little too off balance sometimes. So that's how I pretty much feel about it. Like,
the climate is different, though. The climate is different between, like, literally, and pun intended with that, within Cleveland and Atlanta. Because, with Cleveland, we are like 60-70% gloomy. We're lacking sun. We're lacking vitamin D. A lot of us are walking around mad, angry. The crime is astronomical. We are dealing with so much within this city. So, not to give a pass or whatever, but if you're like living down south, you got the sun, you're living in a somewhat safe neighborhood, you don't always have to look at the remembrance page to see if your uncle, your cousin, your sister, somebody, your friend that got shot and got murdered or something like that, or whatever. Cleveland is a different climate that we just have to adjust here, but I feel like you can make it in Cleveland.
Title episode. That's real right there.
Yeah,
And shout out to y'all because, like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all could have definitely, like, no, I ain't coming full of experience, but y'all, I appreciate y'all because y'all took time out to come with us today. And I feel like that's what our platform does, try to disrupt those gatekeepers, you know what I'm saying? We get a platform of those who, in other circumstances, wouldn't have that opportunity. So thank y'all once again.
So, my next question is, because I don't usually, so fair warning, full transparency, I do not let Brandon touch that buzzer. It gets on my nerves. But this episode, I actually been like, touch it. So, if somebody was to take 3 things from y'all interview, because y'all been lighting up all day, what are 3 key points that y'all would like somebody to take for your interview?
For me, I would say be selective. Know who to know and know who to know. Know those key differences because
Let me need to know when it's thrown in. That was good.
Yeah, that was good. For me, the biggest thing I would say is if you're inspired by the messages that we've been putting out, you should look more into your history. Even if you're already doing it, but especially if you're young and just something resonated with you today with us, look more into your history. You see so much lessons in life about yourself. You know, it's just like your own roadmap to success in life. That would be my number 1 takeaway. And grounding yourself, find something to ground yourself as far as either spirituality, whatever that may look like for you. It's important because you can't come out here fighting all these demons and all this stuff out here in the world and not have something to go back and rejuvenate yourself and come back with that full energy that you possess. Like, you have to know what that looked like for yourself, or you're just gonna get burnt out early in the game. So, you know, ground yourself, like she was saying, like always pay homage to your ancestors. Without them, there would be no you, there would be no experience. So yeah.
And lastly, eagles are never bothered by the opinions of pigeons. So
there you go.
I'm talking about
For sure.
So let me ask y'all this: if there was someone who's watching, I know they all watch the show. I know they'll watch.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Who would y'all like to collaborate with in the future?
We were kind of talking about this, but definitely earn your leisure.
I know that watching show.
Yeah.
I know that watching.
Y'all might get this whole table out the way. Just pull up on us. We're going to make sure we put y'all together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But, you know, maybe I can manifest this, but the female version of Earn Your Leisure is so important to see representation, to see women talking about business and finances and real estate and things of that nature.
For sure. Look, I was just on Market Monday this morning. Okay?
Oh, you only playing.
This morning. Yeah, I go to work and I get to it. My day ain't right unless I'm looking at something fueling what I actually care about. And I feel like them boys, you know, they really did putting it together. And I appreciate seeing it in the information that they have been putting out for real. And I feel like they care about the community because they don't have to do this no more.
You ain't never lied.
They can walk away right now. So the fact that they still in it and piecing it together the way that they are and going where they see the representation, this is important. And, you know, it's something positive that's good to see out there. So.
Absolutely.
Also, Oprah, that's my girl. You know, she gets a lot of slack, but she has and is a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal businesswoman, a phenomenal philanthropist, having her own school over in Africa, having Oprah's books, or what's it called? Her book club, Oprah's book club. I am a reader. I read all types of books all the time. But her just being so well spoken, so professional about her craft, climbing up the charts, being darker skinned Black woman, which a lot of people don't want to talk about the stigma between lighter skinned women and darker skinned women. But seeing that representation, a dark skinned woman who really perfected her craft and is able to make as much money as she wants to and to be able to spend as much money as she wants to is definitely big goals for me. So definitely Oprah.
I know you watch Oprah. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hit them up. Stop playing.
Or you will be.
Yeah, I know.
That's for sure.
Ladies.
Well, I think that you guys kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but legacy. So, what would you guys like for the legacy to be for yourselves individually, and then even just collectively with all the businesses that you have?
Legacy for myself personally is I'm not a mom yet. Hoping to be a mother soon. I read so much. I teach myself so much just so I could teach my kids because just growing up in a household, Black history, Black culture, African spirituality was not a thing. It was something that I was actually kind of taught not to like and to hate. But because it wasn't being poured into me. But now as an adult, I see the importance of it and I see what that looks like in kids who do not get that type of nurturing, those type of lessons, those type of teachings. And unfortunately, those are some of the people that be on the remembrance page. So I do all of this and I have these experiences just so I can teach my future kids. So that's my legacy.
I definitely second that. It's like I said before, the children are the future. When I look and think about my own personal legacy, I just think about creating a message that's forever playing, that's like a mantra of some sort to really help liberate our people so that they're always forever able to break their mental chains, whether it's physical or mental. I think that is something that our ancestors have fought for time and time again, and it's just so important that we care about each other, even the people that we don't see. Someone cared enough about us, you know what I mean? And just to have that same type of effort poured into something to kind of help keep us out of that. I feel like a lot of times, because even when you go into your awakening, it'd be like, what snapped you out of it? What made you? Because everybody don't want to come into knowledge, right? It ain't for everyone. And I think sometimes it's like imagery. It may psyche. It may trigger something that make you be like, oh, snap, and it bring you back to the light. So that's what I mean when I say that about the mantra. But as far as the business, I would say to create something kind of like, I study a lot of different people when it comes to entrepreneurship and figuring out ways to make things that's built to last. And one story in particular that has inspired me is Andrew Carnegie and how when he passed away, he donated so much money. And that's the reason why you're able to go down to all the museums for free. This is the reason it was so many libraries that he passed on. But to pass something on like that, a resource of some sort that our people will forever be able to use. Like I said, if you see a Black It Up in your neighborhood, you know that this neighborhood is powered by these symbols and that is helping fuel this neighborhood. But the ultimate thing is that the neighborhood is fueled by the people. You know what I mean? It just becomes a tool for them to do and get everything that they need. So I think that to me, just having something like that can be used time and time again for generations to come, and where other people can change it however they want it to keep it growing. That's what I think could be a great legacy.
I had to. Sorry. That's good.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is the most important question of the whole interview. Where can people learn more about y'all? What can they reach y'all? What can they Black It Up apparel, all that good stuff?
For sure.
Blackitup.com, Black It Up 216 on Instagram, Black It Up on Facebook. Also our personal pages. A-Rose has arrived. Okay, you don't want to share your personal page. I don't mind. My page is public. I don't care.
Even if you look at they know because both of our information is on the page.
Everything.
But even before we leave, can we at least talk about the hoops real quick? Because I probably was gonna jump into this a different way, but let us add some flavor onto that as well, as far as the hula hoops and what that journey looked like, the sacred circle, because that's the healing portion to black it up. So we want to tell y'all about the hoops as well. So go ahead and take it from there.
So we have a hula hoop line called the Sacred Circle. It's called the Sacral Circle because it goes around the sacral chakra area, which is the womb area. So many of us are dealing with pain and trauma and weight gain and not going outside to exercise, to move our body. The hula hoops are a vibe. They're one of a kind. You will probably never see another hula hoop like the Sacred Circle unless they're imitated.
Right.
But they are handmade, made from recycled pipes. They have healing crystals in the inside that are to rejuvenate the sacral chakra as well. They are also wrapped with African kente cloth, African wax print, and other beautiful fabrics. They are sealed. They are waterproof, coated very, very well. And they're like board built, made tough. So to last for like a long time and to hopefully be an heirloom because it is a beautiful piece. So even if, you're just like, oh, whatever about hula hooping, you do it one day, maybe you can hang it up on the wall or store it somewhere and maybe the next generation will get inspired to use it. But hula hooping is a great way to, again, get into rhythm and flow. And for every 30 minutes that you hula hoop, you burn about 200 calories. So it's a low impact exercise as well. So for sure.
Yeah. I spoke on it earlier too, and I had it in my mind totally.
Me too.
The
conversation
right
back.
Y'all been dropping gems with the right. That's what I'm saying.
Let's get it.
Thank you. Yes.
That's testament to a good story, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll never be off. Yeah, you got me good today.
So listen, I need y'all to get your Sacred Circle. Stop playing. And also, like I said, guys, be in the show notes. So anything as far as Black Up Apparel, get your circle, get everything. We'll have right there in the show notes. So ain't no excuse why you don't have it today, okay?
Today. And not just one good time. Be consistent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
For sure.
So we thank y'all for coming today.
Yes, thank you.
We
appreciate the energy exchange.
No, listen, it's a good time. Like I said, so we will part 2. we won't go to a vendor table. We'll go
to one of their seminars.
Yes. Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. All right. So we gotta pay some bills.
What you looking at me for?
All right, Marquita acting up today. It's okay. Y'all. Listen, guys. So June 22nd, guys, we will be at the Pink Black Honors here in Cleveland at Severance Hall. It is an amazing opportunity to be in the room with from change agents to entrepreneurs to just people in the city who are doing amazing things, and we actually have our own award show here in the city.
Yes.
So, guys, we want to see you there. We had the honor of being a sponsor there, so y'all gonna see us in our Sunday's best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all know Brandon with the Kirk Franklin thing, but I'm gonna get him together. It's gonna
see your slip. Your slip, no.
Oh, we're gonna do it now.
See your slip.
In my slip, yeah. You know what? I might put the moniker before you walk out my life. Don't get me started. No, but seriously, the Pink and Black Honors is an amazing opportunity, and y'all know Brandon was nominated as a finalist for Entrepreneur of the Year for all that he does for the Pull Up Experience. So make sure y'all show up with me. I cannot be the loudest, I'm gonna be the loudest, period. But I'm not gonna be the only one when he accepts his award. Claiming it early that he's going to get it. Yeah, on top of that, one thing about building, on top of education, you need that exposure and that execution. And being in that room is everything. Absolutely. And that's how we build that elevation that we continue to talk about when we talk about the pull-up. It's all about the elevation. So please be in that room. Speaking of fun rooms, we talked about it earlier, but we're going to continue to let's talk about it. June 9th, we will be at the Ford Bistro. That's 4450 Mayfield Road, South Euclid, Ohio, 44121. That is going to be June 9th at 3 o'clock. Come fill up on us. We're going to have a nice, fun conversation about love and entrepreneurship. You can see the link in the show notes below.
Yes.
And you can grab your tickets. They're very, very affordable. But it's going to be a great time again. We're great at creating the right rooms and having those fun, safe spaces to have those kind of conversations. Because y'all know I'm going to get into it. I'm acting fool. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. What else do we have? I think that was it for our events so far. Launch Arts Media. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
No.
Best play.
Launch Arts Media. Make sure that y'all pull up on us.
June 22nd.
No,
Yeah,
June 22nd?
Yeah, June 22nd. Wait,
Right?
right?
June 22nd.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
June 22nd for Launch Arts Media.
We should have this better prepared, y'all.
Every day I get a new calendar.
June 20th.
June 20th. Okay, see? I knew that one. June 20th, Launch Arts Media. We going to act like that didn't happen.
Yep. I'll edit out later.
How you get it done.
Yeah, edit it all.
No, seriously though. Please make sure you meet us there. Do not meet us there. When it comes to creatives, getting that eye, getting in that right room, in that space to celebrate all these amazing people, photographers, videographers, people who deal with branding for whatever reason. Make sure that y'all show up and show out. We also will have the honor and the pleasure and the privilege to actually be in the same room as Steve, our house executive producer. When it comes to the pull-up experience, he is the one and only at Alienized Photos with the views that are out of this galaxy. So make sure y'all come and see the man, the myth, the legend, because y'all know it's hard to get him in one room at one time because he be everywhere. He be outside. But if you want to catch him, he gonna be inside Launch Arts Media. Make sure you are there June 20th with all of us. What?
I'm thinking myself. I'm talking to myself. I apologize.
He does that often. But though, when it comes to support, y'all, we would be remiss if we did not say, make sure that y'all continue to support the full pull-up crew. We have my sis Brittany. She is back. She is here in the States, y'all. But beauty told, when it comes to everything, love, finance, entrepreneurship, she has that podcast where you can come and really talk about it. Spill some good beauty because it's don't be told. But she is going to help you navigate those pitfalls and some of those great stories behind all of these great creatives within the city. And she's going to help you navigate those pitfalls. So hopefully you don't step on the same lines they did. It's a great, juicy podcast. Show notes will be below. We also have Sam, who is not with us today, but she's always here in spirit. That's her. Be confident. Make sure that y'all pull up on my girl because she be outside. Now, this is the time for all events. So if you need a host for your show, your podcast, you need her to come and do your red carpet runway, that's who you got to call. And it ain't Ghostbusters. So make sure that you call her. Get on her calendar early because she gets it done. But it's going to be an event that you will always remember. From there, I know y'all don't see our teal walls, but we just switched it up a little bit just to make sure y'all was woke and still paying attention. But never forget the teal walls of 2U Wines. Yes. 4425 Mayfield Road, Southfield, Ohio, 44121. We talk to all black-owned business, women-owned business, Black created wine that's 14% and will get you there every single time. Y'all cannot have a conversation without including the GOAT, Nakia Hudson. Make sure that y'all continue to support 2U Wines. The patio is open this summer. We still got the wine slushies. We talked about All-Star Weekend. We know that she did the full vending event for the drinks, and when she came with everything, she's just a vibe, and the conversation is always lit. My bro, at the end, not your average agent, because that's exactly who he is. If you are looking for anything real estate related, whether it comes to buying a house, selling a house, or at the very least, if you are wanting to get out of your own way, because a lot of people say, I don't got the credit, I ain't ready. Well, my bro's going to get you ready. It's not just about taking you around 30 different houses, because he'll do that too. He's also going to make sure that he positions you with a pre-approval and everything else, because he's going to work you through the credit process. He's going to pull up and he's going to show up for you every single time. That's one of the great things about making him not your average agent. He's also great at understanding, hey, if there's other avenues you can explore, he's going to have that conversation with you. We know that he's more patient than me, so he's definitely going to actually have the conversation. Make sure that y'all continue to contact, support, and pull up on at Not Your Average Agent. Lastly, you got me, Keita, from Beneficial Bay, where we give great business assistance for entrepreneurs in fun, flirty, factual ways. So if you're looking for a business strategist, not a business coach, I'm going to tell you the way. I'm not just going to cheer you on the side and hope that it matters. We're going to actually get to it. But if you can take the tough love, I'm going to always show you some love. Make sure that you continue to pull up on all of us. And last but not least, y'all, this is my last one, I promise. The viewers, I would be remiss if I did not hand it to y'all. I have to give y'all virtual flowers because every week y'all continue to show up and show out. 7.7 million views, almost 16,000 subscribers. And the fact that you guys continue to support us, and I love that y'all are all over the world and continue to understand there is amazing talent. Keep telling y'all it's more than Cleveland and LeBron. Come on now. So come through every single time. Continue to pull up on us. Thank you. Every like, share, subscribe, repost. We cannot do it without y'all. We are on episode 220. We did it, y'all. We're gonna continue to do it for you guys. So thank you for doing it for us. Did I miss anything?
You got it. Listen, I'm surprised you need the water, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I say, we see y'all next time, all right, y'all? So, peace. Perfect.